currencies. We've already brushed against this topic before. When I spoke of banks, those merchants of trust and of gold, that ancient metal still haunting the heart of finance. Banks lend in currency. Gold used to back currency. And you, my dear viewer, live by currency. You work for it, save it, invest it, and worry about losing it. But tell me this, what is it actually? What gives one piece of paper or one digital entry more worth than another? Why is $1 US stronger than 100 Argentine pesos, yet weaker than a single Kuwaiti dinar? The answer, as always, begins and ends with belief. Not gold, not law, belief. Centuries ago, coins were simple. Gold, silver, copper. Their worth was in their weight. If you melted a coin, you still had value. But people grew tired of carrying treasure on their backs, and banks grew tired of counting it. So they created something lighter, a paper promise. Bring this note and we'll give you gold. That promise worked beautifully, until one day, governments realized they could issue more promises than they had gold to fulfill. And because the people still believed them, it worked. Fast forward to 1971. The United States, the world's anchor at the time, ended the gold standard. Money was no longer metal. It became fiat. From the Latin fiat lux, let there be money. By decree, by faith, by the collective belief that this paper and these digits meant something. Your currency, whether it's dollars, euros, rupees, or pesos, is not backed by gold anymore. It's backed by confidence in your government, your economy, and your future. If all money is just belief, why does one belief buy more than another? Why is one currency strong while another collapses into dust? The short answer, because the world believes in some promises more than others. Every exchange rate, every $1 equals 150 yen, or €1 equals $1.07, is a reflection of the world's collective judgment about a country's honesty, strength, and stability. A currency rises when people want it, when investors, traders, and governments demand it to buy goods, invest, or save. It falls when people lose trust, when inflation soars, debt grows, or politics turn reckless. 5 great forces decide this: interest rates, inflation, trade balance, debt and stability, and confidence, the most intangible yet most decisive. Investors don't just buy currencies, they buy trust. And trust, my friend, is the only currency that never goes out of style. Every day, more than $7 trillion flows through the foreign exchange market, the largest and fastest financial arena in existence. No factories, no ships, no goods, just belief-changing hands. The exchange rate you see on your screen is not set by governments, but by billions of micro-decisions. Traders buying, selling, speculating, reacting to news, fear, and hope. It's the world's purest mirror of emotion, and its wildest casino. A war begins, and one currency collapses. A central bank raises rates, and another soars. A politician says something foolish, and billions vanish in a blink. This is the economy of whispers, where money listens to fear more than to facts. Some countries, however, do not leave their currencies to the mercy of markets. They manipulate them, deliberately weakening or stabilizing the exchange rate for strategic advantage. Why would any nation want a weak currency? Because for exporters, it's a blessing. Imagine your country makes cars. If your currency falls in value, your cars become cheaper for foreign buyers, while your earnings, in dollars or euros, stay strong. You sell more abroad, your factories stay busy, and your economy grows. That's why countries like China have long managed the value of the yuan, keeping it artificially low to support exports. It's not fraud, it's policy. Japan, South Korea, and even Switzerland have intervened at times for similar reasons. The dark side? Imported goods become more expensive. Fuel, food, raw materials. Your citizens pay the price for your exporters' success. And if you push too far, you spark inflation and trust begins to crack. Currency manipulation is a game of balance. Too strong and you strangle exports. Too weak and you strangle your people. And then there are times when belief collapses completely, when money itself goes mad. Germany, 1923. A loaf of bread cost billions of marks. Children played with banknotes like building blocks. The nation that once led the world in engineering drowned in its own paper. Zimbabwe, 2008. Inflation reached 89 sextillion%. They printed a $100 trillion note that couldn't buy lunch. Venezuela, 2018. A cup of coffee doubled in price every few days. People carried cash in backpacks and used it as wallpaper. Once trust dies, no government, no army, no miracle can bring it back quickly. You can rebuild buildings, not confidence. You still live in a world of astonishing contrasts. The Kuwaiti dinar is the world's strongest currency, worth about $3.25 per US dollar. The Bahraini dinar and Omani rial follow close behind. The US dollar, of course, remains the most dominant, not the most valuable, but the most trusted. The Swiss franc is the quiet perfectionist, strong, stable, boring, adored by those who value peace over profit. At the other end, the Iranian rial trades around 500,000 per dollar, the Vietnamese dong in the tens of thousands, and the Venezuelan bolivar. Well, it changes faster than I can finish this sentence. A high exchange rate doesn't mean wealth. It often means desperation. A low rate doesn't mean poverty. It can mean power. Remember, numbers lie. Confidence doesn't. For now, the dollar remains the emperor. It is the world's reserve currency, the unit of oil, trade and debt. Over 60% of all global reserves sit in dollars. When crises strike, the world runs not from the dollar, but to it. Why? Because the United States, whatever its flaws, still honors its debts. It has credit, a vast economy, and a history of paying what it owes. Trust, once built over centuries, doesn't vanish overnight. That's why challenges from the euro, the yuan, or cryptocurrency remain just that. Challenges, not replacements. You can't code trust in a blockchain. You can only earn it through behavior. And through all this, gold remains the silent referee. It doesn't care about inflation, elections, or promises. It simply waits, patient, incorruptible. When currencies falter, gold rises. When faith returns, gold falls. They are eternal opposites, belief and proof, optimism and caution. Even the most modern central banks, those proud believers in data and algorithms, still keep gold in their vaults. Because deep down, they know what I knew centuries ago. Paper burns, but gold does not. So, what decides a currency's value? Not metal, not math, character. A strong currency reflects a nation that keeps its word, that pays its debts, controls its greed, and honors stability. A weak currency reflects the opposite: broken trust, poor governance, short-term thinking. Currencies, in that sense, are moral instruments disguised as economic ones. They reward virtue and punish recklessness, slowly, silently, but inevitably. When you see that $1 equals 1,000 pesos, don't think of arithmetic. Think of reputation. Exchange rates are the world's scoreboard of credibility. So, what is a currency? It's not paper, not code, not policy. It's belief, crystallized. Banks trade in it. Governments manipulate it. Gold measures it. And you, every time you buy, earn, or save, vote for it. Some currencies rise by honesty, others by strategy, and some simply by fear. But in the end, the market always remembers who kept their word. Welcome to my channel. Here, we explore not just how money moves, but why it moves and what it says about us. Because currencies, like people, live and die by trust. And trust, as history keeps reminding us, is the only true wealth the world has ever known.